And for more on this, our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, is now joining us on the show. Hi, Siddhant. What stood out in that very detailed briefing was the fact that we will give firm retaliation in case of any violation. That was perhaps a broad message which stood out. Get us up to speed with the major highlights of that very detailed briefing.
Well, the press conference happened here in the podium behind me, and of course the clear message is that the Indian side has been able to dominate Pakistan in every sense possible, whether it's air, whether it is the navy, or whether it is any attempts of intrusion through land. The key things that stood out for me was that if there is a ceasefire violation, there will be a strong punitive response. The second, of course, the Indian side confirming that it was able to down Pakistani fighter jets. This is the first official public confirmation by the Indian side that it was able to bring down Pakistani fighter jets. The third was to make sure that India sends the message to the heartland by striking deep inside the Pakistani territory against the terror camps in Pakistan, in places like Muridke, Bahawalpur and other places, including Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Of course, I would say a larger message was that if Pakistan attacks India, and that has been the case in last 4 days, India is not only able to thwart it, but India was able to make sure that India inflicts heavy damage on air bases and key military sites of Pakistan, approximately 8 military sites of Pakistan, including the Noor Khan base, which is one of the key centers or military centers of Pakistan, Sarkadu as well, Sargodha as well, along with other places. And what is interesting is that the Indian side was able to release the pictures of the damage to the air bases and also to the terror camps in Pakistan, both before and after, so that there is no a question over that nothing happened, something that we saw from the Pakistani side after the Pulwama terror attack of 2019. Also fight the misinformation machinery coming from Pakistan, especially the Pakistani side basically giving briefings to a lot of international media, and they're reporting it without challenging what they are being fed with. We know that the international media today have been doing a lot of goof-ups, including saying that the Pakistani side has a pilot in their custody, Indian Air Force pilot in their custody, and essentially we know that that is something that has been negated by the Indian Air Force. In fact, the Indian side said that all the pilots are safe and back in back with India, and of course at their homes.
Right, Siddhant, of course, with the videos and pictures to thwart any kind of misinformation which has been going on. I also want to talk about the fact that that India had sent a hotline message to Pakistan after Operation Sindoor was launched. But it was the Pakistan DGMO who turned it down, because India clearly wanted to brief them as to why India launched Operation Sindoor against the terror hubs. Tell us more about that, because just after 3 days, it was the Pakistan DGMO who called up his Indian counterpart to stop the hostilities.
Well, basically what happened is that on 7th, when India struck the terror strikes, terror camps in Pakistan, India reached out to the Pakistani side to tell them clearly that they have made their strikes on terror camps in Pakistan in response to a terror attack in Pahalgam, which was done by Pakistani terrorists. But there was no response by the Pakistani side. The Pakistani DGMO did not respond to the Indian side, and the message was that there will be a strong response from the Pakistani side. But India was able to clearly call out their bluff. We know that Pakistani side was multiple times over last 3 to 4 days, launching massive strikes in north and northwestern India through drones and missiles, and the Indian side was able to thwart it, and ultimately Pakistani side understood that they are now being dominated by the Indian side, and on Saturday, that's yesterday, at 1 p.m. Indian time, the DGMO of Pakistan reached out to the DGMO of India requesting for talks, and at 3:30 p.m. they held talks and agreed for an understanding that there will be no violation that has been going on. There will be a ceasing of hostilities, but of course we saw that Pakistan indulged in ceasefire violation again. The DGMOs will be again speaking tomorrow at 12 noon, but the message is clear from the Indian side that if there is a ceasefire violation, the Indian side will be giving a strong response.
Right, Siddhant, last point that I have to talk about is the fact that the briefing happened, the Navy chief, the Air Marshal, they all elaborated on the fact as to how India's response is a demonstration of our integrated defense system. Talk to us more on that.
Well, the Indian side was able to make sure that when it comes to the entire region from the north to the west is protected, and India is able to damage the Pakistani air defense system. We know that the Indian side publicly confirmed that it was able to destroy the air defense system of Lahore. That is a key breakthrough for the Indian side, and later on inflict damages on the air bases. In fact, one source described the Indian action on 10th as hellfire for Pakistan, after which the Pakistani side agreed that it's better to talk to India rather than to fight.
Right, Siddhant, thanks very much for breaking that very important detailed briefing here for us.